Yo, I'm going to teach you guys how I quote unquote gamify my day trading to make more money than I ever could. And I'm going to show you guys in a step-by-step process on how to do it. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Okay, so we're going to do this step by step. So do not skip the video. Make sure you guys watch every single part of this video. And I'm going to help you guys get through hopefully what I did that helped me essentially quote unquote gamify my day trading so I can make more money, take more money home, help my family out, do whatever it is that you want to do with the money, spend it on a Lambo. I don't really care, but I'm going to show you guys how I quote unquote gamified it so that maybe it can help you guys out too. So let's go over to my drawing tools, green, because green is money. So step number one. Step number one is going to be very simple. A lot of you guys skip this step. A lot of you guys skip this and you don't even realize that you skipped this, but it is going to be master one style. So mastering one style of trading. Now, this means a lot for a lot of people. This could mean, you might think of it as a technical term, and you can definitely use it as a technical term as well, but what I'm going to do today is mostly use it as a style of trading. So for the people who know, there are three major styles of trading, which is, of course, you have your swing traders, you have your day traders, then you have me down here, the scalpers, right? Now I'm going to put a little star here because I believe that scalping is the best way to go from zero all the way to essentially big money trading is with scalping, especially with how I'm going to use scalping in order to, like I said, play the video game of day trading, right? So step one, super simple. I want you guys just to master one style. Do you want to be a swing trader, a day trader, or do you want to be a superstar with me down here, super scalper, right? And I've got a form that I've got a secondary form of this. I've got Super Saiyan here, and I've got Super Saiyan 2 here of essentially hyper scalping, and that I will make another video about later on. But this is essentially my bread and butter, how I went from zero to big money. So step one, super simple. Just master one style of trading. Very simple. So step number two is going to piggyback off of step number one. We went with a gold color here just for fun. Step number two is really simple. Once we master what we want to do, swing, scalp, day trading, right? I prefer scalping, so I'm going to use the scalping example. What I'm going to do here in step number two is now essentially master, right? Get a lot of time under my belt, master a style, but more or less master a technical style, okay? So two different styles. One is, we got the swing traders, the scalpers, and then the day traders. Here I want you to master the technical side. Do you want to master, counter trend trading? Counter trend? Do you want to master trend trading? Do you want to go into the technicals of like fair value gaps? Do you want to go into, dead cat bounces? Dead cat bounce. So there's a million different technical things that we could do here, but I want you guys just to pick out one, maybe two of them. Typically, if you guys are newer traders, just master one of them. This was actually the first one that I started trading, was counter trend trading. I tried trend trading, wasn't for me. Just always felt like I was just getting reversed on. Then I felt like, why don't I try to be the guy who is doing the reversing? And this is where I started making really good money as counter trend trading. Now, essentially, I do know in my playbook on school, I do have a play for essentially a lot of different styles. But what you guys need to do for step number two is really simple. Just master, right? Master a technical style. It could be, double tops, could be double bottoms. It could be, pullbacks. It could be any style that you want to trade that you found on YouTube or in a mentorship or in a course, whatever it is, but just stick to one way. And even when that way doesn't work out, just start going a little bit deeper on it, right? Like I thought counter trend trading wasn't going to work for me until I realized I was doing it wrong. I was looking for the wrong things. Now that I have, multiple confirmations, I look for 1, 2, 3 confirmations in order to counter trend trade, I now have essentially like an 80% win rate doing this. So everybody's different, but you need to essentially just master one technical style, as well as first, of course, master what you want to do. Do you want to be a day trader, a swing trader, or a scalper? Wink, wink. Scalping is the best, especially for you newbies, because then you can see a lot more green and you can stay in this 80 percentile window very nicely. So step number 2, super easy, super easy. Let's go over to step number 3. This is where it starts getting fun. So once you already have steps number 1 and 2, pretty much I would say 80% of the way there, and you feel like, okay, I understand I'm a scalper, I'm looking only for counter trend trades, and I have a couple of green weeks under my belt. Now what's the best way to gamify it, right? So now this is where I start, quote unquote, playing the game. So this is what I did in order to play the game. The game is real simple. You don't have money. A lot of you guys start trading with $0, right? And you're like, man, how do I go from $0 to millions of dollars, right? Whether it's capital or real live money, doesn't really matter. But I'm going to show you guys how we can play the game and go from 0 all the way to having maybe a few funded accounts or even some personal money that you can trade on your own. So let's go down here. Let's scroll down a little bit. Once again, once you are comfortable and you've been trading, let's say on a demo account, knowing now that we want to play the game, let's learn how to play it. If you already are profitable, let's say on a demo account first for a couple of weeks or even a few months, and you realize, okay, I'm profitable. I've written down all my trades. I know, that my average risk reward is a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. I'm very comfortable doing this. Now I'm going to translate. Let's translate this over to start making real money in the accounts. The easiest way that I found to gamify the system, so let's put down here the game. The easiest way to play the game is you buy one account. So let's go over here to prop firms. I don't think any of you guys who are not profitable should be putting real capital at stake, especially when prop firms are essentially the easiest way that I was profitable on real money. I took that real money, I bought prop firm accounts, from prop firm accounts made more real money, and then you just rinse and repeat, right? So like if you start it up here, let's call it, let's just put R with a $sign, real money, you cycle it down here into prop firm money, and then prop firm money back into real money. You get to just keep playing this game, and we can actually gamify this to a point where you're making money consistently. Now, of course, there's a third step that I'm kind of missing here, but I'm just oversimplifying it for you guys. I'm not making a hour-long YouTube video. If you guys want more help with this, go and join the community. It's only a few bucks a month, super cheap, and you guys can ask me anything you want while I'm live trading in front of you guys every day. It's really cool. So, first and foremost, let's buy one prop account, okay? Let's buy one prop firm account. If you are already profitable, by the way. So don't be putting this on your credit card. Don't be asking people for money. Don't be doing any of this if you are not already profitable. If you are not profitable, go back and see step 1 and step 2, master a style, do it on, like I said, on a demo up here. And then once you can be profitable for multiple weeks, solid multiple weeks, now we need to essentially go down here and go to the prop firm. So now that we know we're profitable over multiple periods of time, let's buy one, not 100. Let's buy one prop firm account. It could be at any time. I always tell people in my community, Apex trader, really good, especially when they have their 80 to 90% off. Use my code FAITH to get the best discount at Apex, 80 to 90% off when they have these sales, because then a 50K account is roughly on the 80% off, it's like $30, and when it's 90% off, it's only $15. So super, super, super cheap to get started. I also like other accounts. I like Trade Day, so I'll put it up here, Trade Day, and they're right now running a 40% off. no activation fees. So 40% off, no activation fees. And it's only $60 to get an account, no activation fees, and you just have to trade 7 days. So they're also a really good thing as well. Same code, Faith, if you want to use any of those. I like both of them a lot. I have used both of them. But once again, to each their own, right? To each their own. We're going to go to essentially now how to gamify. So let's say you have one account. One account, they tell you got to make $3,000. You already are big money profitable, right? We are big money profitable already. So all we need to do is pass this one account, pay your activation fees, whether if you're paying a, Top Step, Apex, doesn't really matter. I prefer, like I said, Apex, Take Profit Trader, and Trade Day. Those are the three that I like the most. But if we're profitable, once you pass one account and you go into the live section of that account, let's say live here because it's technically still simulated live, but let's say a live account, and you get over the buffer of $2,000, you can start now withdrawing out of this $2,000. So now we know we're in the live account. We made over the withdrawal of $2,000. We can withdraw whatever may be. I think Apex lets you withdraw $1,500 of that, $1,500. This is with Apex. And then Trade Day lets you withdraw 90% of that, I believe, or 80% of that. So whatever that is, I can't do the math of that right now. 800, 1,600, so close to it, like 1,600. If you wanted to take it all out in one lump sum, doesn't matter. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use any of the profits that we got from our live account, right? Once we pass from the live account here, you're going to take these profits and you're going to buy now more accounts. So if Apex is running 80, 90% off, you just buy more accounts, activate those accounts. If you're doing the same thing with Trade Day, you can get 6 accounts there. Apex, you can get 20. So this is times 20 accounts here, and this is times 6. And then Take Profit Trader is 5 accounts. So every account has different multiple times. But let's say for Apex, for example, you have one account, you pass it, you get your $1,500. Then you wait for an 80, 90% off sale. You buy, now let's say, now you want to buy 5 more accounts or even 10 accounts. And that way now you have, let's just do 10 accounts. Let's make it easy, right? So now we have 10 accounts. You had to buy, let's actually cross that out. You got to buy 9 accounts here. You have still 1 here. Now you have 10 accounts. Now, instead of worrying about, oh man, I have to make, let's say $2,000 to get over, I got to make $2,000 to get a payout on these 10 accounts. So 10 accounts, instead of trying to go for $2,000, all we're going to do is we're going to gamify it. Now, this is where the game starts getting played. So pay attention, right? We're going to take these 10 accounts, we're going to divide them, and we're only going to shoot for making like $200 a day. So let me erase that real quick. So $200 a day is now our target. Instead of trying to make the full $2,000 and get a payout, all you need to do is make, let's call it $100, $200 every single day. So / per day. And that way, in, let's say, 10 days, you'll make $2,000. Super simple. Now, let's take this same number, multiply it by 2. So now we're going to go over here. And we're going to, actually, let's go all the way down here. Let's go over here now. So now, whoa. So now, when we get our payout here of $200 a day, we do that for 10 days straight, or 8 days straight technically on Apex. You'll get $1,500 per account, right? So $1,500 per account times 10, and then what is that? What is that end up being like? $15,000, right? So $15,000 paycheck based just on now gamifying the system. We're essentially taking, right, the one account, turning it into from one account to 2 accounts to 10 accounts to, doesn't even matter. If you guys want to buy 20 accounts and you feel that confident in your strategy, you're like, okay, I've mastered this one setup, this one style. I'm going to just keep doing this. Now, once you get this nice 15K payout, you can now either, of course, put this in a real live account if you're that confident, or what I suggest is you just keep playing this game, right? We just keep buying 10 accounts or 5 accounts or whatever, and you copy trade them. You make $200 per day, or even even better if you have more accounts. So let's say you had 20 accounts of Apex, 5 here, 5 here. What is that? That's 30 total. So 30 total, we copy trade all 30 of them. Now you can essentially start making way more money. If we had 30 accounts, you could make $200 a day, and that's like $6,000 a day. And then you can get those payouts, right? So this is how I gamified essentially trading for me, was that I didn't just try to, full throttle one account all the time. What I would do was I would trade 5 accounts, 10 accounts, 20 accounts all at the same time. Even at one point, I think I was trading like 30 or 40 accounts, but you can trade a bunch of accounts, you copy trade all of them. You're risking, especially too, when your risk goes all the way down. So instead of risking like $1,000 per trade, you can now risk, let's call it $100 when you have more accounts. So multiplied by more accounts. So we can essentially reduce our risk by like 90% off here, the more accounts you have. And all you need to do is size down, right? Risk $100, go on the micros, go on ES micros, go on NQ micros, go on YM micros, wherever, gold micros, it doesn't really matter, right? Go, and if you're doing this on Forex, it's the same principle, but it just doesn't work out as good because the Forex companies only let you trade like 1 account or 2 accounts. With futures, they let you trade like 20, 30, 40, 50 accounts, as many prop firms as you can pass, which is pretty nice. So once again, this is pretty much how I gamified my day trading. I went from 1 account to 10 accounts to 15 accounts to 20 accounts to whatever it is, the number I had at that time. And I was just, every time I added accounts, I would reduce my risk. I would go from trying to risk $1,000 a trade, then I would start risking $100, $200 a trade, and then I would just try to do this over the course of, risking $100 to essentially reward, to try to make, let's call it 200/300 per day. So hopefully this video makes sense. This is how I gamified my day trading. This is how I used, years of essentially I couldn't beat bosses in Dark Souls or whatever game I was playing. And I had to figure out a cheat sheet or a cheat code of how to gamify it to make money my way. This was how I did it. Instead of me just focusing on one account and making that account super duper, I focused on multiplying those accounts, having a lot of accounts being copy traded all at the same time, and then making a little bit of money here every single day. But those little bits of money add up to big money in the end. If this doesn't make sense, please join the community. It's only a few bucks. I will help you out. I talk about this quite a bit on the live streams. I talk about this in the mentorship. So I just want to make a video for you guys. Hopefully that this video makes sense to you guys. Leave me a comment if this does. Appreciate anybody who likes it, comes over to the community. And most importantly, know that you need God first and foremost in your life, right? You need Jesus Christ every single day. You need the Holy Spirit. You need every single day to get closer to God, to pray to God, to trust God, and to surrender. You cannot genuinely, no matter how much you fight it, if it is not God who's going to help you, you are going to fail, and you're going to fail miserably. You need to surrender. You need to trust in God. God is your way out of this darkness. God is the way into eternal light. God is truly the only way to get to heaven through his son, Jesus Christ, that he who believes in him also believes in the one who sent him, which is the Father. And remember, every single one of you has the Holy Spirit in you. You just need to get closer to God. So with that being said, I pray you guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.